Your person is deeply committed to you, more than they might openly express right now. Beneath the surface of their calm exterior, there's a powerful current of emotion that they are finally ready to share. They are preparing themselves to open up, to express the real truth of how they feel. This isn't just about fleeting affection or momentary passion, it's about revealing the depth of their heart and allowing themselves to be vulnerable with you. They've reached a point where holding things in no longer feels right. They know that you are someone who will listen without judgment, someone who understands them even when they struggle to find the right words. That quiet understanding between you is what gives them the courage to face their emotions and speak their truth. They feel an undeniable sense of safety in your presence. It's rare for them to trust someone as deeply as they trust you. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, you represent peace, a steady force that grounds them. They might not always say it directly, but your person believes in this connection far more than you realize. You've touched their heart in a way that few have, and that sense of comfort, warmth, and trust has become an anchor for them. Even when life pulls them in different directions, their thoughts return to you, because deep down, they know this bond is something special. The passion between you two has always been magnetic. No matter how far apart you may drift, something keeps pulling you back together. It's as though the universe conspires to reunite you every time distance tries to interfere. This pull isn't just physical, it's emotional, spiritual, and deeply energetic. They can feel you even when you're not around, and that constant energetic connection fuels their desire to come closer again. But with that passion also comes pressure, an inner conflict that weighs heavily on their mind. Right now, your person is under a lot of stress. There are responsibilities, personal struggles, and emotional burdens that they've been trying to manage on their own. They feel the weight of expectations and the confusion of trying to balance their own life with the feelings they have for you. Sometimes it feels overwhelming, as if their head is filled with noise they can't silence. Yet, through it all, thoughts of you bring them calm. Even in the midst of their chaos, you are their safe space. You are the one connection that feels honest and real in a world that can often feel uncertain. They miss you, deeply and sincerely. They miss the way your energy complements theirs, how your presence fills the spaces that feel empty when you're apart. They miss your laughter, your voice, your understanding. To them, you are not just another person, you are their other half, the missing piece that makes them feel whole. They know that the timing hasn't always been right, that divine timing has been guiding the rhythm of this connection, sometimes pulling you together, sometimes keeping you apart. Even though they try to trust that higher plan, there's still a longing in their heart, a quiet ache that calls out for you. They feel that pull every day, and though they try to stay patient, part of them still wishes they could bridge the distance right now. This moment in their life is one of deep reflection. They are thinking not only about what they feel for you but also about who they are, what they want, and how to align their path with their heart's truth. You have inspired them to look inward, to confront their fears and doubts, and to begin understanding themselves on a deeper level. It's not an easy process, but it's necessary. This period of reflection is helping them realize what truly matters, and that realization always brings them back to you. They know that something within this connection is meant to evolve, and they are preparing themselves for that shift. They're fast approaching a point where they're ready to take action, to move things forward in a meaningful way. You may soon notice changes, subtle gestures, clearer communication, or moments of honesty that feel different from before. These will be signs that they are stepping into a new phase of openness and emotional maturity. They are no longer content to keep everything bottled up. They've spent enough time in silence, replaying moments and wondering what if. Now, they want to create something real, something lasting. What's fascinating is that they felt the depth of this connection long before you did. They recognized the intensity in your eyes, the familiarity in your energy, and the comfort in your presence from the very beginning. It's as if their soul recognized yours instantly, even before their mind could make sense of it. If you take a moment to look back, to connect the dots, you might see that they were always drawn to you in ways they couldn't explain. Every interaction, every coincidence, every moment of synchronicity between you two has been part of a larger pattern guiding you both toward this realization. This connection has not only awakened their heart but has also transformed their perspective on love and vulnerability. It has shown them the importance of emotional truth and the courage it takes to truly open up to another person. They are learning that love is not about perfection but about connection, trust, and growth. You have been a catalyst for that awakening, helping them see what love can be when it's honest and soulful. So, as they move through this period of self-discovery and emotional clarity, know that they are thinking of you. They are preparing for a new chapter, one where they can meet you with authenticity and an open heart. The feelings they have for you are real, enduring, and transformative. Even when words fail or circumstances create distance, the bond between you remains strong. It's a connection that continues to evolve, teaching both of you about patience, trust, and the power of divine timing. And when the time is right, they will be ready, not just to speak their truth, but to live it with you. In the past, I treated you like my enemy, and I cannot count how many times I have felt sorry for that. The weight of my actions, the words spoken in anger, and the decisions made in pride have followed me like a shadow that refuses to fade. Every time I look back, I feel an ache within me, a deep sense of regret for allowing my emotions and my ego to guide my behavior. I was blinded by my own false sense of control, and instead of seeing you for who you truly were, I saw you as someone who stood in opposition to me. I realize now how wrong I was. The anger that once felt justified now feels meaningless, and the walls I built between us were never meant to protect me, they were built out of fear and ignorance. For so long, I lived under the illusion that ego was strength. I thought being right mattered more than being kind, and I believed that showing vulnerability was a sign of weakness. But life has a way of humbling us when we least expect it. It wasn't until I met you that I began to see through the false reality I had constructed around myself. Before you came into my life, no one or nothing had ever challenged me to question my own beliefs. I was surrounded by people and ideas that reinforced my sense of self-importance. I thought I understood life, love, and purpose, but in truth, I was lost. Meeting you was like holding up a mirror to my soul. Suddenly, all the illusions I had built began to crumble, and I could see the truth that had been buried beneath years of pride and pain. My soul had always known that I was living behind a facade, but it took your presence to make me truly aware of it. When I spoke with you or simply looked at you, something shifted inside me. There was a purity in your energy, a quiet strength that I couldn't comprehend at first. You did not demand anything from me. You did not seek attention, validation, or material gain. You simply gave your time, your understanding, your compassion, without asking for anything in return. That kind of selflessness was foreign to me, and because I couldn't understand it, I failed to recognize your true value. I used to measure relationships by what I could get out of them. I saw interactions as exchanges, a give-and-take dynamic that always required balance. But you showed me that love, kindness, and connection are not transactions. They are expressions of the soul, given freely without expectation. Your presence forced me to confront the emptiness within myself, the void I had been trying to fill with pride, pleasure, and the illusion of control. I now see that my way or the highway attitude was not confidence, but fear disguised as authority. I was afraid to lose control, afraid to be vulnerable, and afraid to face the parts of myself that needed healing. When I hid behind my ego, I also hid my true emotions. I replaced depth with distraction and substituted connection with physical pleasure. It's painful to admit, but I often used my body as a shield, pretending that intimacy could fill the emptiness in my heart. Yet every time I did, I felt more disconnected from myself. I began to feel like an object, something meant only for fun or play, rather than a person capable of love and growth. It hurt me deeply, but I didn't know how to break the cycle. I thought power came from control, but now I know that real power comes from surrender, from being honest, open, and compassionate. Looking back, I realized that my anger toward you was never truly about you. It was a reflection of my own inner chaos. You triggered the parts of me that were desperate for healing, and I mistook that discomfort for conflict. I see now that you were not my enemy, you were a mirror showing me everything I needed to face within myself. Every time I fought with you or rejected your kindness, I was really fighting my own reflection. You saw through my facade, and that frightened me. It's easier to live a lie than to confront the truth, and you represented the truth I wasn't ready to face. Now, as I think about it all, I understand that meeting you was not an accident. You came into my life to awaken something dormant within me, a higher awareness, a deeper understanding of who I truly am. You taught me that ego is a false identity, a mask we wear to protect ourselves from pain. But when we strip away that mask, what remains is love, pure, unconditional love that doesn't need to be earned or justified. You reminded me that the purpose of life is not to dominate or control, but to connect, to grow, and to love without fear. I may never be able to undo the things I said or did, but I can learn from them. I can carry the lessons you taught me and use them to become a better version of myself. I no longer see you as my enemy, I see you as one of my greatest teachers. You showed me that compassion is stronger than pride, that forgiveness is more powerful than anger, and that vulnerability is not weakness, but courage in its purest form. So, even though I once failed to appreciate you, I am grateful now. I am grateful for your patience, your silence, and your truth. I am grateful that you crossed my path and revealed the emptiness I had been hiding behind. Most of all, I am grateful that through knowing you, I began to rediscover myself. The journey has not been easy, but it has been necessary. And while I still carry the pain of my past actions, I also carry the wisdom that grew from them. I hope that one day, you can see the sincerity in my heart and understand that my regret comes from a place of genuine awakening. You helped me see that love, real love, is not about possession or control. It's about freedom, acceptance, and truth. And for that, I will always be thankful. Your partner deeply misses being in your presence. There is something about you, your energy, your calm strength, the way your voice sounds when you speak, that lingers with them long after you're gone. They think about the tone of your voice, the gentleness in your words, and how even your silence carried warmth and comfort. Your soft voice brought them peace during their chaos, and your strong personality gave them a sense of safety and admiration. You are a grounding presence in their life, someone who challenged them yet accepted them. Even though they might not have always shown it, your presence made them feel seen and understood in a way no one else could. Now, with distance between you, they feel an emptiness that words can't fully describe. When they think about you, their emotions run deep. They often find themselves lost in memories, replaying moments that once felt so ordinary but now feel sacred. They think about laughter shared over small things, quiet moments that spoke volumes, and the feeling of connection that made the world seem a little less heavy. These thoughts make them emotional, not just because they miss you, but because they realize how much they took those moments for granted. Whenever they think about what true fulfillment in life might feel like, their mind drifts toward a vision of you by their side. In that vision, they imagine peace, family, and a kind of love that endures the storms. You are at the heart of that dream, and though they try to focus on other things, your presence fills the spaces in their imagination. It hurts them deeply to live inside their head with all this longing. They have become trapped in a world of what-ifs and if-onlys. Every quiet moment brings thoughts of you, and every attempt to distract themselves ends up circling back to the same feeling, an ache that only your presence could soothe. Yet they know you are unavailable right now, not out of cruelty or disinterest, but because you are focused on building a life that reflects your purpose and peace. You are creating something stable and beautiful for yourself, prioritizing growth, healing, and stability. And while they understand this, part of them still aches for the connection that once was, wishing they had done things differently when they had the chance. There's a heavy sense of regret weighing on their heart. They are beginning to see clearly how their actions, or perhaps their inaction, led to this distance. They think about the games they played, the pride they held onto, and how ego stood in the way of vulnerability. Back then, they may have thought they were protecting themselves, but in truth, they were pushing away the very person who made them feel most alive. Now, the universe is teaching them what loss feels like. Every reminder of you, the sound of a song, the sight of a familiar place, the mention of your name, hits them with a wave of realization. They are being shown the true value of what they had with you, and it hurts to recognize that their own pride caused the separation, even if it was only temporary. Lately, they've been feeling emotionally and physically drained. The weight of their own thoughts, the constant replay of past mistakes, and the absence of your presence have left them tired. It's as if the energy they once had for pretending, for holding up appearances, has faded. They can no longer run from the truth, they miss you deeply, and they want something real. They know that if they are ever to find peace again, they must make an honest choice about what they truly want in life. This realization has been both painful and liberating. It forces them to confront themselves, to acknowledge the parts of them that need healing, and to decide whether they are ready to let go of ego and fear in order to embrace love fully. They are at a crossroads now. One path leads them toward change, growth, and perhaps reconciliation, but it requires courage and humility. The other path allows them to walk away, to continue pretending they are fine, but deep down they know that road only leads to emptiness. Your absence has made them realize that love is not something to be toyed with or taken lightly, it's a responsibility, a sacred connection that demands honesty and care. You taught them that. Even though you are not physically by their side, your influence continues to shape their thoughts and emotions. You have become a quiet voice of truth in their heart, reminding them of what love can be when it's genuine and fearless. They understand now that fulfillment does not come from fleeting pleasures or shallow victories. It comes from connection, purpose, and the courage to show up with an open heart. You embodied those values effortlessly, and that is why they miss you so deeply. You are not just a person to them, you are a mirror that reflected who they wanted to become. In losing you, they have been forced to see parts of themselves they once ignored. The universe, in its mysterious way, is giving them a lesson they can't escape, that love, once lost through ego and pride, can be the greatest teacher of all. And so, as they sit with their thoughts, feeling tired and uncertain, they know that a decision must be made. They must choose between continuing to live in regret or taking responsibility for their actions and finding a way forward, whatever that may look like. Perhaps that means reaching out, or perhaps it means letting go with gratitude. Either way, they understand that this moment in their life is not about winning or losing, it's about awakening. You are the catalyst for that awakening, and no matter where life takes either of you, your presence has left an indelible mark on their soul.